Mother and father hosted huge pool party at mansion to mark my departure. I wasn't invited. Be me. Story about how my parents never liked me. Let me tell you how it all started. Back in the day, my parents were that perfect high school couple. Mom and dad were the popular kids in Portland High. Total homecoming king and queen material. They were completely into each other. Had these wild dreams about traveling the world, planning to jet off right after getting college diplomas. Wanted to experience everything life had to offer. Dreamed about eating authentic food in bustling Asian markets. Exploring ancient temples in South America. But life threw them the biggest curveball. Mom found out she was pregnant, both still deep in college studies. Nowhere near ready to be parents. At first, they were thinking about not keeping me. But then my soon-to-be grandparents got involved. They were completely against that idea. Insisted that I had to be born no matter what. The pregnancy news hit Mom's college life hard. She couldn't handle all the whispers. Couldn't deal with the stares. All the gossip following her around campus. It got so bad she had to make a tough choice. Ended up leaving college. Moved back in with her parents. That's when I made my grand entrance into the world. Mom didn't exactly throw a welcome party. Actually, she was pretty upset about the whole thing. But my grandparents? They were over the moon about me. They gave me all the love and care in the world. For most of my early years. Actually thought Mom was my older sister. The whole mom thing didn't make sense. Because she never acted like one, she was always doing her own thing. Barely in the picture. Whenever I tried to get her attention, either got screaming or complete silence. Dad was even worse. Like a ghost in my life. Knew he existed somewhere, but might as well have been a character in a story. Despite everything, my parents stayed together. Trying to keep their relationship alive while dealing with me, their totally unplanned child. Don't get me wrong, I understand now that I wasn't part of their plan. They were young with big dreams, suddenly hit with this huge responsibility. But back then, I was just a little kid. Couldn't understand why there was this invisible wall. Didn't get why they weren't more involved. Why we didn't have that normal parent-child connection. It hurt so much. Growing up feeling like an outsider in what was supposed to be my own family. Even though things were rough with Mom and Dad, my grandparents on both sides were absolute legends. They would spend time with me whenever possible. Always there when I needed someone. Just genuinely awesome people to be around. Things started changing when Dad finally got his degree. I was already walking and talking by then. Something clicked in him when he saw me growing up. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe he finally realized he wasn't around much. Started visiting me every weekend. At first, I had no clue who he was. Thought he was just another one of grandparents' friends. Mom wasn't happy about these visits at all. Kept telling Dad to just leave me alone. But my grandparents had different ideas. They encouraged him to spend time with me. Wanted us to build some kind of connection. That's how I finally figured out he was actually my dad. Not just some random guy showing up. After Dad got himself a job, everything started moving pretty fast. He proposed to Mom. They got their own place. Then Dad had this brilliant idea. Thought I should move in with them. Wanted to be a proper family. Mom was totally against it. But my grandparents, who were getting older, really pushed for this to happen. Wanted my parents to step up. Take responsibility finally. After lots of back and forth, my parents finally agreed to take me in. I was just 5 years old when this happened. Let me tell you, it was not fun at all. Really didn't like living there. Felt like moving from a warm, loving home into some cold, unwelcoming place. Going from my grandparents to my parents was like stepping into a completely different world, and not in a good way. Every single day was a struggle. Mom would constantly remind me how lucky I was to even be living there. If I did anything she didn't like, she'd threaten to kick me out. Dad might as well have been invisible. Working all day long, coming home super late. On those rare times I tried to hang out with him, always got the same response. Too tired, need space. Basically telling me to go to bed because he couldn't deal with me right then. Life at grandparents was full of warmth and love, but with my parents, felt like they couldn't stand having me around. Like I was some kind of burden they had to bear. Too young to understand why they acted this way, but old enough to feel the pain of not belonging. Other kids had toys to play with, got treated to ice cream sometimes. I got nothing, not even basic attention. Would show up at school with incomplete homework. Teacher would call Mom about it. Then Mom would lose it, call me lazy. Say I needed to handle my own school stuff. It was rough being in that situation, especially as a kid. Went from being loved by grandparents to feeling completely unwanted in my parents' home. Was terrified of my mom. Started doing homework right after school, all by myself. Thought maybe if I did everything perfect, she'd finally start to see me differently. But that day never came. And Dad, living in his own world, not caring about what I did all day, or how I was doing in school. As I got older, started noticing how different things were. Watching other parents at school, being affectionate with their kids, giving hugs and kisses at drop-offs. just showing they cared. I got none of that. Felt like living with strangers. Sometimes wondered if I was even their real kid. Would ask grandparents about it during visits. They always confirmed I was definitely their child. Tried explaining that my parents just hadn't figured out how to be adults themselves. Meanwhile, Mom never missed a chance to say mean things to me, made fun of everything. My hair, my glasses, even my weight. She even said if she'd been in high school with me, she would have bullied me. Who says that to their own kid? It was bizarre and painful. Living through all this was incredibly hard. Trying to navigate a situation where you feel completely out of place and unwanted, which is heartbreaking for anyone, especially a kid growing up. One incident really showed the difference between my parents and grandparents. Had this serious milk allergy, grandparents always knew about it, took it super seriously. But Mom, she thought it was all bullshit, refused to believe I was actually allergic, said I was just trying to be trendy. Kids in my day didn't have all these allergies. That's what she kept saying. One day she pushed too far, forced me to drink milk. Ended up in the emergency room. Things got real serious. Police came to talk to Mom about what happened. That was her wake-up call. Never tried to make me drink milk again. Dad was furious with her. First time I ever saw him stand up to her. She actually started crying. Grandparents rushed to the hospital. Stayed by my side the whole time. Lot of serious discussions happened. While I was recovering, something about that whole mess changed how my parents acted toward me. Mom actually started participating in my life. Would wake me up for school, help me get ready. Dad made time for me in the evenings. Even started tucking me in at night. Couldn't really understand what caused the change. But suddenly they were treating me like a person. It was weird and unexpected. After that major wake-up call, things at home got better. Mom showed interest in my life, started asking about school and stuff. Dad included me in his activities. We'd watch football games together. During these moments, finally started to understand my parents. Connect with them somehow, think I was naturally empathetic. Despite everything, didn't hold grudges against them. We even started going to the beach on weekends. Became some of my happiest memories. Stopped feeling jealous of my classmates because my parents were finally showing me affection. Be me at 15. Discovered I had this amazing talent for crocheting, all thanks to my grandma, Mom's mom. She had taught me before she passed away. Remember how she would create these incredible things with just a crochet hook. She'd sell them at the local craft fair, making several $100 each time. Her work was something special, always full of vibrant colors. These super intricate patterns. Got completely sucked into the world of crocheting. Spent hours and hours getting better at it. Always thinking about Grandma while working. Her creativity really inspired me. Plus her entrepreneurial spirit. Decided to follow in her footsteps. Started making my own crochet items. Felt like I was connecting with her legacy. While finding my own path, creating unique, personalized pieces. Took a big step. Set up my own booth at the exact same craft fair she used to sell at. People's reaction was amazing. Better than I could have imagined. Word started spreading about my work. Custom orders started coming in. Not just from classmates, not just from friends, but from people all over the community. Felt incredible knowing each piece I made meant something special to someone. Each creation told its own story. As my small business picked up, found myself diving deeper into the craft. Started experimenting with all kinds of yarns, trying different textures, playing with colors, testing new patterns. My creations evolved, went from simple scarves and blankets to complex pieces of wearable art, made unique home decor items. People absolutely loved them. More positive feedback kept coming. Got lots of returning customers. Made me push myself even harder to keep improving. When the money started getting good, Grandma suggested opening a savings account, specifically for college. Was so proud of what I'd accomplished. Excited to share the success with my parents. Thought they'd finally be impressed. But their reaction? Complete opposite of what I expected. They were shocked about the money I was making, had dismissed my crocheting as just a silly hobby, until they heard about the profits. Then they completely rejected the whole idea. Dad even threatened to destroy all my work. Said he wasn't working his ass off to pay for my education, just so I could waste time on stupid things. That's what he called my passion. It was devastating, seeing how differently we saw things. How they couldn't appreciate my success? Face reality that my parents haven't changed. Still just as self-centered as always. The whole situation was an eye-opener. Their reaction to my earnings was insane. Demanding the money, then lashing out at Grandma when I said she was keeping it safe. Showed their true colors. They hadn't evolved at all. My grandma stood her ground though. Refused to give them my hard-earned money. Parents tried claiming it was rightfully theirs. Made everything crystal clear. They were still just as selfish as before. Hit me hard realizing this, but it made me more determined. Had to protect my future. Realized my parents might not support my college dreams. Crocheting wasn't just a hobby anymore. It was my ticket to freedom, my lifeline to a future they might not provide. Had to get creative to keep working. Started telling my parents I was at my best friend's house, actually working on crochet projects at grandma's. Best friend was totally in on it, helped me keep the whole thing going. Despite my parents being against it, wasn't proud of lying, but had no choice. Had to protect my dreams, work towards a future that they were trying to destroy, dealing with them trying to control everything, trying to take my money. It was really tough. Couldn't give up my passion though, or chance to make money, especially since college support looked unlikely. Kept working on crochet projects, filling orders from clients, telling parents I was at my best friend's, actually at grandma's, working on our business. Grandma was amazing through all this, helped me grow the business, taught me so much, started using social media too. Got on Instagram, got on TikTok, set up Facebook, showing off my work, connecting with more people. This was huge, going from local craft fair to full online business. Grandma and I opened joint bank account, keeping my earnings safe for college. Trusted her completely. She always had my back, unlike my parents, who just wanted to use my money for themselves. Then one day, everything exploded. Mom found my online business, went through my phone without permission, discovered I was still doing it, despite their opposition, led to massive argument. Parents screaming at me, screaming at grandma, complete disaster, but made me even more determined to work for my future, my way. They demanded all my money, said I owed them for raising me and taking care of me. Was almost crying, trying to explain this was for college, wasn't hurting anyone. Dad screamed about trust, said he couldn't trust me anymore because I went behind their backs. Mom made me delete Instagram, stood right there watching, making sure I did it. I was smart though, just deactivated instead of deleting. Could activate it again later. When I was free from them, parents implemented strict phone restrictions, had specific time windows, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., then 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. Started tracking my location, monitoring all my internet history, set up notifications for everything. Even innocent stuff triggered alerts, like trying to shop for underwear. Could only go out with friends twice a week. Had to come straight home after. They'd call me constantly if I didn't. Would call my friends too. Sometimes allowed to see grandma, but only for a couple hours after school. Banned from doing any crocheting with her. Threatened to take away phone and internet if they caught me crocheting. So many days I wanted to run away, but was still 17. Had nowhere to go. Asked parents about getting part-time job. Local cafe was hiring. They actually allowed it, but with a catch. Had to give them 30% of earnings. Agreed without fighting. Gave them their 30% every week. Secretly gave other 70% to grandma. For my bank account, parents made life harder and harder, constantly barging into my room. Checking everything, going through my chats, reading my emails, always monitoring my location. If I didn't follow their rules, either got grounded or had to give them more money that week. Despite all this bullshit, focused on school, kept my grades up, knew I needed good college. To escape this life, worked my ass off studying. Night before turning 18, packed everything I'd bought myself, left clothes and phone in room, wiped phone clean first, so they couldn't find anything. Knew they wouldn't let me take their stuff, so didn't even try. Plan was already set. Grandma coming early morning to help me move out. Parents were shocked seeing me leave. Started fighting with grandma. Threatened to call police. Told them to go ahead. I was 18 now. Could do whatever I wanted. Then they tried blackmail. Said they'd tell everyone about what an ungrateful daughter I was. How everyone would shun me for leaving my parents. Didn't care anymore. They threatened no college help. Just smiled at that one. Had saved enough. Plus got scholarship. Didn't need their help anymore. As I walked out that house, felt mix of emotions. Fear. Relief. Determination. Little did I know, my journey was about to get even more interesting. First few weeks at grandma's, like breathing fresh air for the first time. All those strict rules gone. Finally could breathe without constant monitoring. First thing I did, got myself new phone. New number 2. Went to bank with grandma. Took all my documents. Converted minor account to individual one. Can't describe how happy I felt. Getting my own card, my own account. No more asking for permission. Reactivated my Instagram. Got back to my crocheting business. Grandma being awesome as usual. Offered me space in her house. Set up little makeshift studio. Could finally get back to work. Then found out something wild. Just a week after I moved out. Relatives and old neighbors told me. Parents threw a party. Not just any party. A celebration of their independence. They were super happy. Calling it start of their new family. Free from burden of having me around. Invited all their child-free friends. Posted tons of pictures online. Them laughing and drinking. Not a care in the world. At first, it really hurt. Own parents celebrating my absence. Just a week after I left, showing off their newfound freedom. Felt like cruel twist of fate. Dad's parents were shocked too. When they heard about celebration, tried reaching out to me. They travel a lot in their RV, exploring the country. Hadn't talked to them in years. Finally got my new number. From one of my cousins. Called me immediately. Wanted to know everything. Told them whole truth. About everything with my parents. How they'd been treating me. Why I had to leave. They were completely shocked. Asked why I never reached out before. Explained about phone monitoring. How I couldn't really talk to anyone. Except few friends and grandma. That's when they told me something. Parents never wanted me in first place. They thought parents had changed when I moved in with them. Begged me to forgive them. For not being there through everything. Talked with my grandma too. She told them about all the fights. How she had to protect me from parents. After this conversation, Dad's parents took action. Told every single family member what my parents had done to me. News spread through relatives. Family friends found out too. Everyone started calling, offering support. Was surprised how sympathetic they were. Some offered money, but I refused. Told them about my business instead. Asked them to spread word. Help me get more clients. Business started picking up slowly. Then got amazing news. Accepted into Dream College. Full scholarship too. Life finally changing for better. College wasn't far from Grandma's place. Could visit her every weekend. Keep working on my crocheting. Dad's parents stepped up. Gave me their old car. Needed some repairs, but totally manageable. Made it easier to visit Grandma. Then something unexpected happened. Friend working at local newspaper reached out to me. Wanted to write story about me. Said there weren't many young entrepreneurs in our area with own business. Thought my story could inspire others. Had to think about it. Finally agreed to interview. Didn't think it was huge deal. My business still needed work, but hoped it might help. Some kid like me, stuck in toxic environment, might read it, feel inspired. When story came out, felt surreal seeing it in paper. Know it's small achievement, being in local paper, but first time in long time, felt proud of myself. Proud of working so hard. Despite all difficulties, Grandma was over the moon, super proud of me. Relatives and friends reached out, congratulating me on success. Felt weird getting praise. Parents never supported or complimented me. While growing up, parents must have read story, called Grandma immediately, started screaming at her, said I betrayed them by going behind their backs, made new demands, said since I started business, while living with them, had to give them credit publicly because relatives bashing them, since I told truth about their control, also demanded share of profits, threatened to take me to court. Grandma shut them down fast, told them business was under her roof. They could try court if they wanted, but they'd lose. Was so angry at parents, wanted to scream and yell, knew it wouldn't help though, decided to do something else instead, organized small celebration, invited close family and friends, people who actually loved me, was going to college anyway, deserved one last hurrah, had amazing time that night. Of course parents found out, somehow got my new number, started texting nonstop, calling me ungrateful daughter, saying they wish they never had me. Dad sent long text about spending his life providing for me. Now I was wasting money, celebrating with other people. Funny how they didn't see irony. They celebrated when I left, but mad at me for celebrating. With people who actually care. Posted story on 4chan. Had no idea it would blow up. Saw it on TikTok few days later. Started getting scared. Parents might find out. Everyone telling me to block parents. Planning to do exactly that. But wanted to send final email first. Let them know exactly what they did. How they made me feel. Not a doormat like some people said. Just a kid with toxic parents. Society teaches us parents want best for us. Nobody teaches what to do. When you have toxic ones, how to cut them off. Some people blame me for letting parents walk all over me. But I'm young, still learning to stand up for myself. Grandma helped write the email. Helped organize my thoughts. Here's what I wrote them. Dear Mom and Dad. Spent long time thinking about our past, present, and future. About our relationship. With heavy heart realized, need to cut ties with you both for my own well-being. Spent entire childhood yearning for your love, trying to meet your expectations, but was never enough. Worked so hard to understand why you seem to dislike me. Tried everything to be accepted, but you never did. From earliest memories, when Mom forced milk despite allergy, to feeling like stranger at home. Your actions shaped everything, showed how toxic our family was, still held on hoping for change, for connection that never came. When I found purpose in crocheting, thanks to Grandma's guidance, thought it might bring us closer. Instead, you tried to control me, undermine everything I built, made me realize I had to leave. Your threats about my money, trying to control my celebrations, showed true toxic nature. Want you to understand, this isn't about revenge, not acting from anger. It's about self-preservation, building life free from toxicity, with love and support I deserve. Don't hate either of you, but must prioritize my well-being. Thank you for pushing me to become independent, for underestimating my potential. Wish you both the best. Hope you're finally happy without me. Please respect my decision. Let's part ways amicably. Had tears writing this email? No, I should be strong. Remember all bad things they did, but so hard to cut off parents. We're conditioned to love them. Hard to break free from that thinking. After sending email, blocked them everywhere. Few days until college starts. Feeling nervous about it. Grandma and dad's parents helping me move. Into new dormitory. Excited about meeting new people. Making new friends. Everyone asking about business? Crocheting still going strong. Won't quit despite college. Love making unique designs. It's my real passion. We'll work hard to manage both. Been 6 months since last update. Can't believe how different life is now. First and most important, absolutely thriving in college. Classes are challenging, but putting in the work? Maintaining good grades. No, I need college degree. Even with successful business, need something to fall back on. Made incredible friends here. They even helped get more crochet orders. College life opened new horizons. Meeting different kinds of people. Such refreshing change from isolation back home. Even have boyfriend now. His name is Kyle. Only been dating 2 months. Still getting to know each other. He's really sweet though. We'll see how it goes. Still visit grandma every weekend. Working from her makeshift studio. Fulfilling all our crochet orders. Business is actually booming. Getting overwhelming positive response from all our clients. Amazing how following my passion provided financial stability, plus sense of purpose. Real fulfillment in life. As for my parents, been quiet 6 months since that heartfelt email. They haven't tried contacting me. Grandparents told me something interesting. Parents got lots of criticism from everyone. Decided to sell everything. Move out of country. Looking for fresh starts somewhere else? Don't know where they went. Truth is, don't really care. Fact, they left without trying to reconcile or apologize. Says everything? Genuinely hope they find happiness wherever they've gone. Hope they can finally do things they always wanted. Time for me to focus on my own journey. Keep building life I dreamed of. Learned important lesson. Through all of this, surround yourself with people who uplift and believe in you. Thanks to grandma and friends who always believed in me. This is final update. Thank you everyone for support.